you've gotten your hands on Deathloop, you've probably dabbled around in the invasion mode where you get to play as Julianna and ruin some other players' days. But you might have realized very quickly that it's not so simple. So today, we're going to be going through some tips and tricks to hopefully get you to be the best Julianna you can be and ruin some other players' loops. Let's get into it. The first and most crucial bit of advice, which is why we're going to get it out of the way first, is to take your time playing as Colt. The knowledge that you gain when you do play as Colt is invaluable when you try to transfer that to Julianna. You see, things like NPC placements, the levels and layouts, the secret passageways that open up at each given time of the day, and where objectives are located are all crucial pieces of information that you can turn to your advantage when you are starting to hunt Colt yourself. Beyond that as well, watching other players invade your game can be very strategic information, as you'll learn where it's most common for Juliannas to go. That way you figure out where it's most common other players as Colt will most likely be looking for you. Rooftops in particular, it's pretty easy to see a head or a body poking out and moving around looking across the map to try to find other players, so that's a pretty good avenue you might want to avoid if you are playing as Julianna. Probably the best aspect of playing as Colt as well is gaining practice in a PvP environment when other Juliannas do invade your game. Not only are you equipped with 3 lives in order to take out Julianna, giving you crucial amounts of time to be able to learn how to move, how to avoid, how to line up your shots, so on and so forth, but it also gives you an opportunity to go off Julianna, who's much more properly equipped than you are. Before Julianna goes out on a run, she can completely customize her loadout, and we'll talk about loadouts in a bit, but as Colt, you're more or less scrounging the supplies you can, or going with the items you are able to infuse the run before. So likely you'll be with worse equipment than Julianna has. Due to this pairing and this mismanagement, it is more difficult, but the additional lives, the worse equipment, will only work to make you better when you do go play as Julianna. My second bit of advice is to learn your Colt. You as Julianna are the hunter, and Colt is the hunted. That means that you have to be patient, slow, meticulous, and you only have 1 life versus Colt's 3 in order to get your job done. Learning how your Colt plays is incredibly important, whether they are defensive. Do they slowly creep around the map trying to scope out where you might be? Or are they solely focused on completing their objective and getting the hell out of there? Knowing the style that your Colt plays will set you up for success in order to properly counter what they're doing. Meaning, if they are defensive and they're not moving around so much, you might want to move slowly yourself so that Colt won't see you zipping across as you try to search for him. Likewise, if you know they're solely going for the objective, you can make your way to where an Eternalist or a Visionary might be. Make sure that you use your Masquerade power to swap places so that you can be right at the action before anything gets started. Knowing what type of Colt you're playing against, an aggressive or a defensive one, will also give you key insights into where you might want to put yourself on the map. Aside from just being near an Eternalist or a specific section, you might also want to avoid rooftops. Knowing that your Colt is playing very defensively might mean he's scanning the peaks and scanning all the crevices. Watching and studying your Colt will also give you key insights as to what gear they're using, what powers they brought with them, so that you can strategize and plan your approaches with that in mind as well, and that will lead you to a lot of success. Number 3 is, for God's sakes, use the Masquerade ability properly. Please. I can't tell you how many times I've been invaded by another player, and then I see someone use the Masquerade ability, and I can tell immediately because suddenly a Visionary, or excuse me, an Eternalist is jumping across rooftops like an absolute lunatic, or they're running around sprinting with their weapon out, making it a dead giveaway as to exactly what Eternalist they are. Every time I go to use my Masquerade ability, I try to do 2 things. 1, act nonchalantly as possible. Sheath your weapon if Colt isn't around. Walk, don't run, and never sprint. And be sure to find out exactly which NPC you are using the Masquerade ability on. Julianna cannot do complex actions, so if you ever see a Julianna who's smoking a cigarette, digging a tunnel, working on equipment, or otherwise interacting with the environment, that is definitively going to be a fake. However, if you can happen to find one that is just standing around with their weapon put away, you're golden, making it much more deceptive that you are actually maybe AFK or just standing there looking around for your target. The Masquerade ability is Julianna's best edge against Colt, aside from having better gear and equipment, in order to fool him, misguide, and mislead Colt into thinking that it's someone that it's not. And if you don't use that to your advantage or you misuse that ability, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Find a nonchalant NPC, trade places with that NPC, and then act like one yourself. Colt will go after that fake one, letting you know exactly where he is, or at least giving away a rough position, and giving you the edge that you need in order to beat him. Number 4 is to know the noise you're giving off. Sprinting is a dead giveaway that you're nearby. Colt can hear that, isolate where you are, and then come after you right away. Sprinting is a big no-no unless you are in pursuit or there's already a lot of noise. Maybe Colt started some trouble fighting some visionaries elsewhere. The biggest thing to be aware of, though, is vaulting over objects. I will never leave on a loop without utilizing the double jump ability. Every time Julianna goes to vault over an object, she lets out an audible grunt that can isolate where she is for Colt to find, or at the very least, give you away without even knowing it. Making sure that you have double jump to properly clear obstacles and get over them without having to vault will save you so much energy in trying to stay stealthy and hidden and keep your position isolated even if Colt is right next to you. Number 5, I think I lost track as to what number we're at. Possibly number 5. Before you go out on any given loop to hunt Colt, be sure to equip yourself with gear that you're used to, but also ones that give you versatility for a range of situations that you might encounter. With all the mobility of Colt able to jump around, especially with the side dodges, as well as the shift ability and other powers that he could possibly pick up, there's a lot of movement that happens when you're going up against Colt, and I found that if you're in close quarters, that spray and pray might just be your best option. That doesn't mean you want to give away all your range, so for example, bringing in the rapier is another great choice. If you're able to spot Colt from a distance, take a shot and deal a lot of damage in the process, making him have to go off and hide or go find health or panic and let some other Eternalists know where he is. Number 6, use a skin. This one might come as a bit of a surprise for some people, but in fact, we're so used to seeing Julianna in all of the marketing material just in her default outfit that when you do start unlocking costumes and other skins for Julianna, equip them and use them. It's much more startling to see a Julianna in a different skin than it is to see the one that we've seen all this time leading up until the release of the game. So you can really throw some Colts and some newer players off guard if you catch them in that surprise. I know it's happened to me when I was getting invaded early on. You can get that for other people as well. Number 7 is actually going to be split between 2 bits of advice, but be sure to 1, exert patience, and 2, use your Eternalists. On every map, you have a whole host and network of Eternalists who are waiting to help you take out Colt. Use them to your advantage. Let them spot Colt for you and give away his position. Let Colt engage with them before you swoop in to take some of the killing blows. The Eternalists, the Visionaries, they're your ally in this fight, and it's not cheap or cheating to use them. You don't have to go in everything solo. It's part of the game that Julianna, in character, likes to play. When you exert patience, Colt is more likely to get in an interaction. At some point, he has to go after that visionary or just simply escape before he can do so. There's a reason why Julianna, it's T on the PC, I'm not sure what it is on controller, but she has the ability to let all of the Eternalists know where Colt is if you happen to spot him before they do. Which, by the way, don't forget that that's something you can do. I find myself forgetting all the time that I have that ability. But the point being, they're there for you to use, so use them. Number 8 is to be sure that you know what's going on when you do arrive. This actually is coming from Dinga himself, so it's advice worth listening to. But if you know that a specific trinket is missing from where it's supposed to be, or a group of Eternalists have already been taken out, it's plausible you can plot out where Colt has already been, and then try to predict where he might be going. On top of that, if it happens that he already cleared a particular route, it's likely he'll try to traverse that again. So use that knowledge to your advantage in order to plan and cut Colt off on his route. Catch him by surprise and get the edge you need. Number 9 is don't be afraid to run away. It's okay if you happen to be losing a fight for you to take off, find some health, restore your health, and then come back later. Again, it all comes down to the fact that you have 1 life, he has 3. Firefights can get tricky, and Colts are getting really damn good at the game, waiting for Juliannas to invade because it is a really fun mechanic. So you need to make sure that you know when it's time to disengage and when it is time to engage. There might be moments where you think, alright, I can strike now, but you don't have the backup that you require in order to really give you the edge that you're looking for. So, being sure that all of your encounters are planned and within your control are incredibly important in order to win as Julianna. Last but not least is to have fun with it. Yes, of course, I mean to have fun in the sense that it's just a game, enjoy it, it's a friendly competitive experience, of course. But also, it's not always about beating Colt all 3 times or draining all 3 of his lives. If you're playing as Julianna, your goal is to protect the loop, and that means stopping him as much as possible. If you're able to get rid of 1 of his reprise abilities or 1 of his lives, hell, 2 of them if you're lucky, before he escapes to continue his loop or his run, then that's a success. You've effectively won as Julianna. You've slowed down his progress and you've hurt him quite a bit. Keep in mind that if Colt does kill Julianna, he gets all of his reprise abilities back, meaning that your efforts in trying to stop him and any lives that you might have taken out previously were all for nothing. Have fun. If you lose, that's totally fine. You've gained the knowledge and the skill from that PvP encounter, and every single time you lose, you become a little bit of a better Julianna. That's just a fact. Outside of that, it really is just practice, practice, practice. Hopping in the game, trying out the PvP, dying, and restarting to do it again, getting a little bit better each time. And if you really do, remember one of the previous tips, play as Colt. Utilize those 3 lives and the worse equipment when you get into these much more difficult encounters. It'll make you better when you do hop in the game as Julianna, on top of all the other knowledge that you obtain playing the game. So I hope some of these help you guys out. If not, let me know. If you have your own tips for Julianna, share them down in the comment section below. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please do leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new here and you want more Bethesda content. Thank you, and I hope to see you all next time. So long, everybody. So long, everybody. So long, everybody. So long, everybody. Oh, shit. I'm stuck in a loop. Alright. Only one way out.